recording program. The free version allows you to record for 5 minutes, but the district has paid for the premium version at least through the end of the school year. So we can use that. You can record as much as you need to with that. Once we go back to the free version, and if we do that, you can also just record, 4.5 minutes and then put those videos together if you want to just use the free version. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. So it should be coming here in just a sec. Okay, here we go. So what I did, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go to that link that I sent in, that I put in the chat. So this is the Chrome Web Store. I've uninstalled Screencastify so I can go through all the steps with you guys. And I know this may be real basic for some of you, but just bear with us. So Screencastify, screen recorder video, all you have to do is click on Add to Chrome. It'll ask for some permissions. I'm going to hit Add Extension. It will take just a few minutes here. It's downloading something and it's going to install a Chrome extension up here. So it popped up here. It may be kind of hard to see, but these are extensions. If you don't know about extensions, they're very cool. They're little tools that add functionality to your browser. So now that I have that in there, I don't have to leave that open the whole time. But if I click on this, it's going to open up a new window because I haven't signed in yet since I'm brand new to it. Now, to get the paid version, go ahead and hit sign in with Google as long as you are logged into your school account. So don't do it. If you do this on your personal account, you're going to get the free version. But if you do this on your school account, your SMUSD account, you'll get the paid version. So I'm going to hit sign in with Google. It's going to go and look and see who I am. It may ask me to verify who I am because I have multiple accounts. But here it is, step 1, sign in with Google. It's going to ask that I unlock the features to the camera and the microphone and the drawing and annotation tools. So I'm going to say yes, I want those. I'm going to hit next. And then again, it's going to say that it can read and change my data on websites I visit. The reason it's going to be able to do that is it's going to access its tools on those websites. So I'm going to hit allow. We get a new screen, we get the confetti. Woo, we're so excited, and we now have Screencastify. So if you are doing it on your personal account, down here is where you go unlimited. I believe it's $50 a year, which isn't that bad. And the district paid for it for all of the teachers right now. And I don't know what that costs, but it doesn't really matter. Up here, this little icon right here with the arrow is where Screencastify lives. So when I click on this, here's our options. So someone in the chat has already talked about using a different camera. So the first thing it asks you to do is, what do you want to record? Just a tab, your entire desktop, or just a webcam? If you want just to directly talk to the students, you could do that. The microphone, it will default to your regular built-in microphone. If you have headphones, something like that, you can change to whatever you want it to be. I'm just going to leave mine as the built. Well, I'm going to turn it to the earbuds because I think it sounds better. And then you can embed the webcam. And then for your webcam, you would select your camera. So the person who asked, I'm sorry, I forgot who asked, you hopefully have more than one camera here. So my FaceTime HD camera is my built-in camera on my computer. But if you have a dock cam or another webcam, you hopefully have more than one here. And so you can choose that other camera, and that's how you would record a Screencastify with a different camera. Also, you can click on show more options, and it gives you can choose your countdown. So it can be 5, 10, or 3 seconds. I just choose 3 because usually when you hit record, you're ready to go. I'm going to leave the drawing tools on, and showing the webcam preview. That's if you want to have your picture in the corner for the kids to see you. Some people like that, some people don't. There are some people who say that seeing the teacher keeps them a little bit more on task. It kind of builds that relationship that you already have with the kids. It keeps it going. So I would encourage you to have it turned on, but if you turn it off, that's fine too. I'm not going to hit record quite yet. So I'm going to go to a screen here that has our cloud. So I'm just going to pretend like I'm going to be doing a quick Screencastify on the cloud. So again, I'm on the tab I want to record. I'm going to go up here and click my Screencastify extension. All my settings I know are already correct. So I'm going to choose my whole desktop. I could just do the tab. I'll do my whole desktop just in case. I'm gonna hit record. So my picture popped up there. It's asking me, do I want my entire screen? If I wanted just a window, I could pick on just a window that I'm going to use, but I want the whole thing. I'm going to hit share and hit my countdown. And now I'm in Screencastify. Down here on the left, I can stop. I could pause the video. I've got my pointer. Here are my pencil tool. So maybe if I want to, say, okay, you need to use your login over your username over here. You click login right here. I could circle things. I can change the colors of my pen if I wanted to. Maybe I want a blue instead to point something out. And so you can use the pen tool. Obviously, it's pretty simple. There's an eraser tool also if you wanted to erase whatever you drew. Maybe you're highlighting or annotating or underlining certain things. You can go and change all those. The X will hide your tools. Also, let me go back to the arrow. If I hover over here, I get focus the mouse. So if I turn that on, you can kind of see that everything else darkens, but where my mouse is, it kind of highlights. So if you want to bring attention to where your mouse is, you can do that. I'm going to turn that off. This button right here is just, it hides the cursor if it's not moving. And then the last one will highlight your clicks. Let me turn that on. So when I click, it gives me a little red button. So I can tell that when I log in, that I clicked right there. Again, now I'm still recording this screen. If I wanted to go back to the pencil, go back to red, I can say, oh, we really want to go to Google Drive. I want to make sure that we log in right here. Okay, but also realize that now I'm in the pen, so I have to go back to the mouse if I want to actually click on it. So just be aware of that. There's two ways to stop your Screencastify video. You could go up here, back to the extension, and hit stop. Or right down here, it's probably easier to just hit stop sharing. So I need to click it. So now what's happened is a new tab is opening and it's taking me into Screencastify like it's the first time because it is for this account login. So I'm just going to use this little tour to kind of talk about what's in here now. So just to back up, I did a little mini Screencastify on the cloud. You may have a Google slide deck that you're teaching about. You may be showing a diagram or whatever you're showing. You could have just done the same thing. So I'm going to go show me around. So down here is a trimmer. A lot of times the first 30 seconds, maybe the last 30 seconds of a video, you want to get rid of. If you were trying to figure out how to stop the video and it went an extra 10 seconds, you can trim that down if you want to. Up here is where we'll title it. It gives you a generic untitled, but you can change that name. We'll do that in a second. Over here is where you can copy the link. If I hit copy shareable link, that will make the link of this video that is in my Google Drive shareable for anyone with a link can view. Down here, I can instantly put it into my classroom or I can publish to YouTube.
Ryan, you're not showing right now, right? You're not presenting. Yeah.
Am I on the wrong tab? Thanks,
yeah,
Sue.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize your voice.
I bet you do.
We can type that to you too.
Okay, let me see. Whoops. I was just going to go on talking forever. Sue, thanks for stopping me. So let me present my entire screen. I'm presenting. Can you see where it says share? Can you see share your video now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'll go over what I talked about a minute ago, and I'll come back to that. So here I can share my video to the classroom or YouTube. If you're going to publish it to YouTube, though, you have to be logged in with your YouTube account. It's going to ask for your channel, which is just your teacher account name. Also, if you share to Classroom, I'll show you how it's going to be a WebM file. And we've been having issues with those as more and more kids click it. There eventually is a quota that it won't let them see it anymore. So we've been kind of pushing people to put them on YouTube instead. If I go next, I can download my video here. So it can be an MP4. That's the kind of file type that you can upload to YouTube. Or if you want to put that on your classroom, you can try that also. But again, we're having that darn quota issue. And then editor, we'll go into editor. Really, you probably won't need the editor, but that's kind of like a very, very, very basic movie editor where you can kind of clip things and chop things out if you need to. I'm going to hit done. And so the couple things that were there that I was talking, you can see is the scissors down here at the bottom. So if I want to trim the first 10 seconds, I can drag this way. Oops, I got to grab the scissors. I can drag it this way and lose the first 16 seconds. Stop talking. I can also chop the back end of it off. I'm going to actually make this kind of small so it's smaller to have to deal with. So you can trim your video to whatever you need to get rid of. And then this is actually kind of in the way right now, but I'm going to hit save trim. Now, one thing it does give you a warning about is it says, hey, be careful. When this new trimmed video is going to take away your original. So if you had something in the last 15 seconds that you really want to do, you want to keep, if you trim it, it's gone forever. So you can't get rid of it, or you can't get it back. I'm going to go ahead and hit trim. It's going to save a new video for me. And that one went pretty quick. So up here is where the name is. I was talking about that when I couldn't be seen, when you couldn't see it. If I just click up there, you can change this to whatever name you want it to be. Also over here, the little I will give you information. So I know that this video is now 30 seconds. It tells me when I recorded it. It gives me full HD, which is nice. And then it gives me my file size. In this case, it's pretty small, which is good. Okay. And then over here is that copy shareable link. So if I click this, it says enabling link sharing, and it says copied. So it copied it to my clipboard. Let me go to more options. It gives you options that it did. So it just turned on unlisted. People who have the link to the video can view it. If I want to change that, I can change it to any of these. So maybe I want just SMUSD to be able to see it, or maybe I want it private, or maybe I want it public. You can change it to whatever you want. I'll make mine public, doesn't really matter. And again, with the share to classroom, it's going to open up another window, and it goes in and it says, okay, what classroom do you want to share it with? So it's actually opening up Google Classroom. So I can go in here and I can choose any of the classrooms I have. And then you can tell it what to do. So I'm going to create an assignment. And if I hit go, I'm not going to do all these steps. But those of you that use Classroom know that this is exactly what it looks like inside a classroom. So I can put my instructions. I can give it points. I can assign it to all students or just a few or none. I'm going to hit none just so that the people in this class don't get an email. You can put it in a topic. All the things. With this, even I can make it where students can edit the file. It wouldn't work for this video, obviously, or make a copy for each person. But again, this is a WebM, and so you'd rather have an MP4 if you're going to make a YouTube video. Don't worry too much about that. But if you get an issue with the quota has been reached, just put it on YouTube and share the YouTube link, because that's going to be much easier for you. Again, I'm going to just close this down because I'm not going to really assign that.
Hey, Ryan, can you address the question on the chat about YouTube? It's a really good question.
Can you read it to me because I'm not on there?
Yeah, hang on one sec. It's from Karen Lucas, and it says, please elaborate on specifically what you need to do to save to YouTube. And then she says, I don't really want my videos to be on YouTube. Can outside people find them? So is there a way to make our YouTubes private to only our students?
Not really. You can make it unlisted, and then the kids need a link to get it to it. But I mean, somebody could theoretically figure out your link, but the link is pretty hard. Let me just go ahead and I'll publish this one. So see, it wants me to add a YouTube channel. So let me I'll add my channel, which is I'm just going to pick my school account. So I'll allow this, a Screencastify to go to YouTube. And then here it's set to private, which means only I can view. So what you'd want to do where you don't want it public, it sounds like, but you can do unlisted where people who have a link can view it. So if you do unlisted and then you put that link into your classroom, then no one outside would see it unless the kid shared that link. So I'm going to upload that to YouTube. It shouldn't take too long because it's so small. So I'm going to copy that link. I'm going to go to a new tab. Can you see the new tab?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to just paste that in there and hit enter. So there's our video. Now, one problem here is the video is not approved for SMUSD. Your channel may not be approved. And if that's the case, you won't see this, but you can send it to the link that Stephanie has sent out with how to approve videos, how to approve YouTube videos, and we can approve your channel. If you, I'll see if I can find the link and I'll drop it in the chat here for that too. But this video, because it's unlisted, and here it says again right here with unlisted, no one can see it unless they have the exact link for this video, which is very hard to figure out what it is. That's probably the safest way to do that. Yeah, here. And then the last thing is in Screencastify the download. So I can export this as an MP4. MP4 is your typical video file. So if you want to export that and put it onto a website, or you want to put it into your drive, you can do that. Obviously, it's already in Drive, but you can do it as an MP4 if you want. If you want just the audio, you can export just the audio also. I've never done the export animated GIF. I'm not going to do it with this one because it'd be pretty boring. But later on, if you get frustrated or tired, maybe make something silly and try it out with a GIF. And then the last thing is open an editor. Let me open this real quick. This again is kind of more than you probably will want to do with this. This is if you have something in the middle of your video that maybe you want to get rid of. I know one time when I was using this, I didn't have the pro version, but I had a different program which did something similar. I had a big section in the middle where someone came into the office and was talking to somebody else and the audio was bad. So I wanted to go in and delete that middle part. So this would work for that, although it's taking quite some time to open. Let me jump back and look at the chat just to make sure there's nothing in there. We've seen, okay. So Karen, you don't have to create it. Well, you will have to create a YouTube channel first. So just go to YouTube, click on your picture icon in the upper right. And I think there's a button for start channel or create channel. It'll be very minimal. You don't have to put a picture of yourself on there or anything like that. You can just start the channel so that you have it. And then once you do that, if you want to send the link to that to Stephanie's Google form where we can approve your channel, that should make all your videos viewable by the students. Okay, yeah, that's all that. Let me see if we got this open. Oh my gosh, it's still loading my recording. Those of you that are familiar with movie editors, this is just going to be very, very basic. All you can really do is go in and you can clip your video, and then you can take out pieces in the middle of it. Or if you have 2 or 3 videos that you want to put together, you could do that. So if you had a video that you might have in your drive from somewhere else, maybe it's a video that you downloaded somewhere along the way, and you want to have your 3-minute intro of it and then show the video, and then you have a 1 minute at the end where you're talking about that video, you could do that in this editor. But I'm about ready to give up on it. In fact, I think I'm going to give up on it. Okay, so I'm going to come back into the Meets. I'm going to stop sharing and then just ask if anyone has any questions. I think you guys are all getting to be pros at all these different tech tools, which makes all of us very happy.
Hey, Ryan, it's Carla Mason.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to just do a Screencastify demo tonight at home or today at home and then watch it ourselves to see how it works, can we just do what you just did, basically?
Yeah, thank you for actually saying that. So in your drive, when you install this for the first time, it's going to give you a Screencastify folder, and all the recordings are going to go into there first. So when because it's just private to you, you can just open that Screencastify folder and watch the video from there. You also can obviously watch it right after you did it. It'll play it right back to you when you're done.
And will each video have a link so we could copy a link and then paste it to our students? Is that how that would work then in our folder?
Yes. Yeah. Let me jump back in. Let me share my screen again. I actually wrote that down to remind myself, and I didn't look at my notes. Okay, can you see my drive folders now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so over here, if I go over here, I'm under my drive, and then it created the Screencastify folder. And within that folder are these videos. So if I double click on the demo one, it's going to bring up the one we just saw.
Okay.
And then I can just take this link. And again, over here, I can go to my share settings. And right now remember, I had told it anyone on the internet can find it. I can change that if I want to make it just specific to myself, or if I want to make it to where only certain people can see it. This is like a regular Google Doc. I can change it to just San Marcos or just specific people. So it becomes like just a regular Google Doc or slide deck once it's in your drive.
So if we say just to San Marcos, that means kids can only log in then with their school San Marcos account. So they're kind of limited who sees it by their school email?
Yes, yeah, they can only see it if they're logged into their school email, so parents couldn't see it. So that's why I typically put everything on anyone with a link can view, but if you want to have it only be for the kids, then you can do it just SMUSD or SMUSD only.
Okay.
Stop sharing. I think we have another comment over here. Divide students into group for forward, assign them to a Google Meet that I host. So the kids can do a Screencastify, but they're going to be on the free version. So they can only do 5 minutes, which probably honestly is more than you want to watch. So yeah, what you just said in there, they could do that. You could set up a separate Google Meet for them to be on, and then they could Screencastify the screen and then turn that into you. That would work. You just have to figure out which kid is going to do it, because if there's 5 kids in a group like that, every kid wouldn't get the video. Only one kid who started the Screencastify would have it. It's like a WPMS party in here. Choose the right plan for you. Oh, are you logging in, Maritza? So you want to just log in with your SMUSD account, and it'll take you to the premium features. So I think if it's asking you to choose the right plan, you maybe haven't logged in yet.
Okay.
If you log in with your personal account, that's where it wants you to decide, do you want the free version or to pay for it. Anybody else have any questions? It's really a pretty simple tool, so just don't overthink it. I mean, my suggestion to you, especially if you're secondary, especially because that's what I was. If you have a slide deck that you want to use and you kind of want to teach like you were there, have your slide deck on, share that screen. You can have your picture at the bottom or not, and then you talk through the slides as you go, end it, save it, and then the kids can go back and they can fast forward or rewind you as needed. But just remember that I've got a 10-year-old sitting here next to me. When she goes through TikToks, if it's not entertaining in the first 2 seconds, she goes to the next one. Is that about right? She says, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying you have to have a dog and pony show, but if you have an 8-minute video, that's hard for a lot of our middle schoolers, especially to go through. High schoolers, you probably could do it. But just you want to try to keep the information short. And remember, you don't have to pause for questions and all that kind of stuff. The kids can pause the video as they go, and they can rewind you if they didn't get it. So just be aware of that. Okay, they don't have Screencastify on their Chromebooks already. They'd have to go to the Chrome web store to download it. I'll put that link in here again too, just so you guys can put it. If they don't have it, I would just put it in your Google Classroom and have them go download it today, or I guess tomorrow when you have them again. If they have their own laptop, they just have to be on Chrome. Yeah, so they just have to add Chrome. And then some thank yous. Yeah, so that's about it, unless somebody wants to stay around for other questions. And obviously, if you have questions along the way, you can email myself, or if you know Christine Dixon or Marla Rosenthal, we are all kind of the EdTech helpers right now. So if you have questions, email us. I'll put this video, and there's some other videos on that Teach Your PD website. I'll put that link in here also, just so you have it, because and they've had lots of emails with lots of different links. Let me grab this real quick, and I'll put it in there. This is just a website we put together to try to help you guys have stuff in one spot.
Ryan, at the end of this would you mind sticking around for a couple minutes? I have a couple questions that have to do with technology here.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep. Can we go ahead and stop the recording, and you guys can go ahead and jump off whenever you are ready.